Fantastic. The weather was fantastic. We had sunshine, but the night before rained really hard. So we were thinking that the juniors were going to struggle at Muthaiga because it was very wet. But we had 4 players that played under par or better. We had Kanana playing 69. Great scores coming all round, showing us that our players are able to play in all weather conditions. So very excited about that. The conclusion of the US Kids, we have about 12 players that have qualified for the World Championships in Pinehurst. So very, very good showing for Kenya right now.
Yes, yes, we have kids that have qualified for the World Championships. But now, before then, any tournaments for the juniors?
So this is what we call the quiet period. For 2 months, we don't have any tournaments happening. The reason being is this is a time we usually try and get our players to go back to the drawing board, see what was not working, go and fix their swings, and we also focus quite a bit during this period on golf development. So we have just started our elite camp, which is going to be running all year round. Last time we did it for 6 months. We realized that the children being in camp really, really helped our scores in South Africa. So now we've decided no more 6 months. It's going to be an all-year program.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you've had a busy first, let me call it quarter of the year. Aside from, you had the Stroke Play Championships, you had the Nairobi US Kids Golf. I mean, you also had the Inter-Schools. Tell us about the Inter-Schools tournament that was at Lenana.
The inter-school tournament was at Windsor Golf and Country Club, where we are right now. We had 19 schools participate. Very excited that we had some new schools coming on board. Alliance High School, Lenana High School came on board, Nova Pioneer, Makini. There were different schools that were coming on board that were not there last year. So we're looking at a lot more public schools participating, which is what we have been trying to do, is demystify golf, especially in the public schools. So that was great. We're going to be working with Lenana and Alliance High School to see how we can help them with their programs, their school programs, to make sure that the players can be of a higher caliber players. And very, very good performance from the schools that came on board. As I said, 19 schools is the highest that we've ever had, and we're looking forward to recruiting more schools into our schools program. It is a great pathway for our juniors to be able to get scholarships. Most people think you get scholarships through academics. You can actually get scholarships through sports, so we want to bridge that pathway through golf.
Speaking of scholarships, you have a couple of junior players that are took part that are part of the JGF that have gotten scholarships. I mean, if you can point out some, probably just a few, and how important this is for the program itself and for golf in Kenya.
So last year we were fortunate. Andrew Wahome and Chanel Wangari got into the Congaree scholarship program. Not only is it a scholarship program, it's a mentorship program for them for the next couple of years. This year we have Bianca Ngenchu and Junaid Manji, who have qualified for the Congaree scholarship. We have Sophia Nesbitt, who has got a golf scholarship to Milford College in the UK. So a lot of opportunities for scholarships coming up, and we are trying our hardest to open up those opportunities. We've also gotten 2 scouts, one from University of Houston and another one from Weber University in Florida, who are now looking at our juniors to give them college scholarships in the USA. So that is our main aim, is to partner between education and golf and see how we can better the lives of our juniors in this country.
Let's talk about the juniors who are practicing behind you, and some of them took part in the All Africa Cup, and I mean, they performed wonderfully, and the girls team finishing second, the boys team finishing fourth. I mean, did you see that coming?
I was pleasantly surprised. I was hoping for at least third place for each one of them. The girls coming in second, that was a great performance, especially in the last day. They were third, and on the last day, they gave it their big push and came to second. Just to give you a performance update, last year, the year before that, our girls' average score was 83. This year, the average score was 76. For the boys, the average score was 80. They dropped it to 76. So this means that this training is working. It's actually working. And the challenge I've given the coaches now is, no, we're not doing 6 months training. It's going to be all year round. And we want the girls and boys to be able to drop to 72. If they drop to 72, the boys will be finishing second, the girls will be finishing first. So it is a doable project. We can beat South Africa. And we have seen what it takes. If you put the kids in camp early, we've seen what it can do for our juniors. Now we are taking it up a notch higher to say 3 days a week for the rest of the year. These juniors are going to be training. We're going after the big dogs.
Yes. Why the emphasis on JGF?
Well, you always have to start with the roots to be able to build the champion.
Yes.
So you always have to do grassroots programs to be able to build champions.
Yes.
So if we want to build champions, we have to start when the rest are starting, age 4, 5, 6. And that's what we're doing.
Yes.
We are starting from the grassroots.
Yes.
And from the grassroots, we're then developing them. We have a program in the regional areas where we have juniors who are being trained for free by coaches. Here in Nairobi, we have a partnership with the clubs where we've decided that we can do a 50-50 split. They pay 50%, we pay 50%, and we do training at the club level. We're going to the schools and partnering with them to give them coaching. We're giving them golf clubs. We're giving them whatever they need to be able to sustain good players here. And we are giving them competitions to be able to thrive. And when they get into these competitions, especially our 3-day WAGA tournaments, those juniors can then qualify to join this elite squad that is training all year round. And we will then develop our champions that way.
Yes, I know, you know, we always have to talk about the government, you know, if it comes in to probably propel you guys to where you want to be. Have you gotten some government support? That is, you know, for you to move forward, government plays also a critical role. Have you gotten some government support?
We are in talks with government. Government did support us, and they are willing to put more support into it. We are in talks with them on how we can then work on golf development, especially in our regional areas and a lot of the mashinani in Kenya. So we are working with them to see how we can work on the Lenana project, make sure that we complete it. We are also in talks with them on the Kasarani project. The government is ready to have conversations with us. We are putting the plans together. They put us to task. So we are putting the proposals together and we shall present them to government.
Yes, aside from the government, I mean, we've seen sponsors such as NCBA, you know, come in, give some money into sponsoring the tournaments you have. How important has that been for JGF?
So just to clarify, only 30% of NCBA money goes towards tournaments. 70% goes towards golf development. So these programs that you see behind here, training programs in Nyeri, training programs in Kisumu, training programs in Kisii, training programs in Njoro, all these training programs are happening around the country. So most of our money is actually going towards golf development.
Yes.
It's buying golf kits and sending them to all these regions, distributing balls to all these regions. The 100 coaches are around the 40 golf clubs, and they go into schools and they teach juniors how to play golf. So most of the funding for JGF is silent money. It's golf development just happening behind the scenes, but 30% goes towards the tournaments that you see. And we do have 41 tournaments happening this year.
You've spoken about, you know, programs in Kisii, programs in other areas. I mean, how many programs do you have?
We actually have 6 regions, of which cover about 35 golf clubs, and we have programs in every single one of them. Yes.
Yes. From the youngsters that are taking part in junior golf here in Kenya, probably do you sometimes sit and see and say that, you know, probably from these people, these youngsters that are in this crop, one day, probably 2028 in Los Angeles, we are going to have one?
The way we are moving, yes, we will. Just for next year, our focus is to have at least 10 scratch golfers. So what that means is that even the competition for who gets into the Magical Kenya will be a competition.
Yes.
So we are there. As I said, just in AHATC, we dropped our scores from the 80s to 76, which is +4.
Yes.
So by the end of this year, we will be seeing most of our boys and girls who are in this elite squad playing scratch golf. And if we are able to do that, that is in 2025. We have 3 years then to develop a professional who will make it to the 2028 Olympics.
Yes.
So we are on track.
Yes, and last thing before I let you leave, when somebody talks about, or when there's normally talk about golf, most people in the country say it's an elitist sport. If somebody wants to join junior golf, how can one join?
So the membership of junior golf is 1,000 shillings a year, much cheaper than most sports that we have out there. And for them to participate in either playing at the range or even at the golf course is between 100 and 150 shillings. So it's very, very affordable for juniors to be able to play. We've realized that we developed golf in Nairobi and Mombasa, but in the regions, Kisumu, Kisii, Nyeri, Nyahururu, we have training happening there for free for the kids who are interested in playing. And the top 5 boys and the top 5 girls in those regions are getting a similar program to the elite squad program that we are having here. So we are trying to demystify it. Any sponsorship money that we have, we are putting it to the ground and trying to open up the space for our juniors. And as you can see, we are also trying to open up the space for scholarships so that if someone is a really good sports person, really good at golf, that they have the opportunity to study anywhere around the world.